Howdy, folks. I'm Sam I Am. Welcome to the show. Well, it's all over Twitter. All the YouTubers are talking about it. Huge news. MoneyGram is live with XRapid. That's right. They're using XRP to complete transactions. I'm going to play the clip for you. This is from their Q2 earnings call that they do with some investment advisors and members of the press, and they get to ask questions and so forth. And this is Alex, the CEO of MoneyGram, talking about 3 key initiatives that they accomplished this quarter that really support their long-term growth.
And third, we launched a strategic partnership with Ripple that also included an equity investment at a significant premium to our stock price at the time of closing.
That's, of course, the $50 million investment. In return for their money, Ripple bought shares of MoneyGram at $4.10 when the market price was around $1. So that's the premium that he's talking about. And so far, MoneyGram has only called down 30 million of the 50 total on offer for 2 years.
As you know, with our new partnership, Ripple has become our key partner for cross-border settlement using digital assets. And I am so excited to announce today that MoneyGram is now live and transacting on the Ripple XRapid platform.
Yes, XRP to the moon, baby.
We started executing trades earlier this week, and all signs point to this being a tremendously beneficial relationship for all parties involved. We are literally settling currencies in seconds, and to quote my friend Larry, this is really cool.
Finally, XRapid, $5.89 next week, y'all. Clearly. All right, hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Sam I Am. We'll catch you next video. Wait. Did you think you were watching Alex Cobb? Back up Bradley Kimes, restarting your day with CKJ? No, you're not. Buckle up, motherfuckers, because we about to go deep. All right, I want you to understand there is no more significant partner to Ripple than MoneyGram. This is so key to the development of the RippleNet ecosystem, to get the network effect going, to give them reach into all of these different markets. And what they reveal in this conference call, while not saying there's so many things that they can't talk about, it's absolutely mind-blowing. You guys are going to love it. All right, so pay attention. The devil is in the details. Let's keep going with what they have to say.
One of the core strengths of MoneyGram is our global liquidity and settlement engine that enables millions of customers to move billions of dollars across 200 countries and territories using over 120 currencies.
Okay, now he just finished the 3 key initiatives, and the third one was RippleNet is live and it's running. Why did he immediately jump into, well, the key part of our business is our back office settlement system? And later there's a clip that I'm not going to play for you where he says essentially RippleNet is going to replace that key settlement system, not so much augment it, but it is going to become the core of MoneyGram's business. There's a reason.
We believe our settlement engine is a key asset with additional applications and use cases that could lead to new revenue streams down the road.
Wait, new revenue streams? Hold on, y'all. XRapid's about making things more efficient and saving money. Where could these new revenue streams possibly come from? Well, I have some ideas.
Our partnership with Ripple will help further improve this core strength. Our internal innovation lab continues to explore new and exciting use cases for crypto, DLT, and blockchain as we look to build the business model of the future.
All right. Remember, this is 2 weeks before MoneyGram was announced. This is David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple. Listen to what he says.
Have a bank that doesn't want to touch a digital asset. They're like, we can't have XRP on our books, we can't buy it, we can't sell it, it's just too much of a regulatory challenge for us. But let's say they want to make a payment in Mexico and they don't want to have to pre-fund and they don't want to have to get confirmation 3 days later. What they can do is they can have an XRapid customer that probably won't be a bank. It'll be a payment company or some other type of institution.
Oh, wait. They can have an XRapid customer. MoneyGram's an XRapid customer, check. It probably won't be a bank. Well, they're not a bank. Check. It'll be a payment processor. Check. Or some other company. Check. And what did the Alex just say? Oh, new revenue stream. Check. What do you think they're doing, folks?
that uses a digital asset to buy the Mexican pesos as an internal treasury function and then offers those Mexican pesos to the bank.
For a profit, generating a new revenue stream. Ding, 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 ding. Are you guys paying attention? Okay, let me... Actually, yeah, there's a little more.
So it's a workaround to the limitations that we found that we think is adapted to the situation that we're in today.
It's a workaround that we found, again, 2 weeks before MoneyGram gets announced. They've been searching for this workaround, and they've found it. Oh, well, but this is theoretical, guys. This is all theoretical. They haven't actually been doing it. Well, wait. Well, actually, I guess they have. All right, let me cue it up here. Sorry, just bear with me. There we go. Good enough. Okay, let's go back to the call where I now have to cue this one up to the right spot. And this thing is difficult. 52. Crap. 14, close enough.
Of how we do this, right? And I think that, when you think about traditional, settlement and traditional foreign exchange markets, right, it's a lot of banking applications, it's a lot of platform, and it's sort of a lot of internal management. So
he's describing correspondent banking, friction, a lot of delays.
To have an integrated product into their platform, we built kind of our own unique interface with them that I think the team internally has just done this amazing job with. Basically,
wait, their own custom interface? Would that be like a workaround that you're describing there? MoneyGram is not the typical XRapid customer, RippleNet customer. What they're doing is different. What they're doing is special. We're going to get into more, but just make sure you understand that. This is not what they do with typical customers.
You can live real-time sort of ping the market, get responses back on what those rates are. It's almost like a consumer FX platform, to be quite honest with you.
Okay. Consumer FX platform. Now, he is not talking about consumers being able to walk into Walmart and buy FX services anywhere around the world. No. What the context that he's making that comment in is one where you have correspondent banking, where if you want your customers to be able to send money to Mexico, you got to send that money like 3 or 4 days in advance and have it parked there. And you're doing that in bulk, so you're sending 10 million at a time because of the friction and the delays and the hassle and overhead and so forth. And then you're drawing down on that 10 million by a retail FX service. What he's describing is the ability to send payments and source liquidity, meaning pre-fund the accounts on a per transaction basis. That's what he means by retail FX.
Then you can lock in those rates. You can hit the trade, and it literally money ends up in your bank account, able to use for settlement or whatever purposes you want. I think, as Larry said, and what'd you say?
Well, we get a confirm in a minute.
You get a confirm in a minute. It literally ends up in our bank account in like 20 minutes or something like that, which is remarkable. So when you think about how our business works, and I think this is kind of the misunderstood part, but also the coolest part of it is, as a consumer, you go to send money to Mexico, right? The Mexican peso is, inherently volatile, and it is moving around all the time.
As they have such volatility. But here, if you think about trying to pre-fund Mexican pesos on a Thursday to make payments on a Monday, that's a lot of volatility in Mexican pesos. Whereas if you can use XRP, which can move across the planet in just a couple of seconds, the volatility is actually less. Even though XRP is inherently more volatile, you're only holding it for the minute or two it takes to complete the transaction.
You think they've been in the same room together having this conversation?
If you can actually time the cash flows and settlement flows with what's happening on a per transaction basis with the customer, it's
the customer being a bank, not an end user, not these two jokers right here on the screen above me. No, they're talking about banks. This is a wholesale service that's providing retail granularity, a per payment basis. They are talking global FX on a per payment basis, cheaper than what they do today. Folks, this is nothing short of a game changer. You need to understand that.
Pretty remarkable what you can start thinking about and doing with that type of technology as you think about how you manage the hundreds of millions of dollars that are moving around every single day. You can choose to trade, you can choose to not trade, you can move those things around. And so, from a price perspective, from a performance perspective, from a transparency perspective, and improvements to liquidity, I would say it's at this point it's kind of second to none. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the best rate on every trade, and you may not want to make that trade. And so,
Okay, so what he's saying there is, again, this technology is a order of magnitude better and faster and more efficient and all of these things, but you're not always getting the best deal. Why? Because there's not enough competition, because the network hasn't developed enough. What it needs is more market makers in the marketplace, driving costs down through competition, and they have to be careful and kind of learn the pitfalls, is what he's describing.
We're kind of learning to use the platform, but certainly we have every incentive to do that. I think that someone asked a question. It is largely kind of cost and efficiency driven, but I think there's some real revenue opportunities. We're doing a lot, as I said on the call, or at least in my script, on more with distributed ledger technology, looking more in terms of crypto assets, what's out there, what are the capabilities, and also just generally speaking across blockchain, what else it is that we can and should be doing as an organization, because there's a lot of things happening in the market today, and I think we're actually probably underappreciated for the value that we can bring from an on-demand liquidity.
Underappreciated for the value that, not that we're bringing today, but that we can bring, that we're about to bring, that are going to create new revenue streams for on-demand liquidity on a per payment retail FX basis. They can't talk about it, but folks, they gave us all the breadcrumbs, all the pieces of the puzzle. All you got to do are put them together and open your eyes and look.
Settlement perspective to a number of different aspects of that growing industry. So we're, super excited about it, I guess is probably how I'd phrase it.
I'm not a finance expert, so I'm super excited. Must be some kind of technical finance term. I don't think I've ever heard that on a quarterly earnings call. All right, let's go back here. Oh, man. Okay. 2242. Bear with me here, guys. Oop. Close enough.
The Ripple partnership, I don't know, can you maybe help us get a sense of how much of the cost base you think you can save? Or, I mean, clearly there's, you guys have communicated there's some cost benefit, but just trying to look through the income statement, help us understand a little bit where and when we might expect to see that starting to come through.
Yeah, let me add one thing, then I'll let Larry jump in on that. And I guess fundamentally, right? I love to say there really is no way to instantly move money anywhere around the world, right? We run a giant net settlement engine, and I think we do it better than anybody. That's kind of how you get money from point A to point B these days. And I think you have two ways of doing that. You have kind of the consumer side of it, and then you have your back end settlement and trading processes. And what this product has the capability to do
RippleNet.
is actually completely streamline and transform our back end capabilities and
completely streamline and transform our back end capabilities. Essentially replace them. It's going to be the core component that's driving these new efficiencies.
For the first time, I think, ever really actually enable money to move instantly or as close to instant as humanly possible. So if you think about, hundreds of millions of dollars circling the world every day waiting to be settled, and, sort of what we call money trapped in transit, the ability
stranded capital is the term that I use for that.
To streamline that can drive a ton of efficiency. So I'll let Larry jump in.
Yeah, and I was, as we've been ramping, starting with some pretty low levels. I don't foresee really.
Where do you suppose the ramping is starting? Could it be into Mexico, perhaps?
Much of a material impact on Q3.
Sorry,
we're
Moon
live.
Boys.
We're doing stuff. We did move money to Mexico in 1:13. But I think what really we're on a ramp. But we're not going to be maxing out or stressing their system, and so it'll.
Whose system is that? Ripple's system. So what he's saying is we've started. We're live. We're sending payments into Mexico. However, we're doing it on a limited basis. Why? Because we can't handle it? No, because RippleNet's not ready. Again, the biggest fear, the thing that probably keeps David Schwartz awake at night, is a bank trying to use RippleNet to complete a payment and the network fails because of a lack of liquidity. They have to kind of bring these things up in conjunction with each other. Now, also, there's some people on Twitter, when this announcement came out, they went and compared rates between Western Union and MoneyGram, and they found, U.S. to Japan is far, far cheaper. Well, if you listen to this whole call, one of the things that they're doing to increase their transaction volumes is in some of their key markets, they've lowered prices and are making a much slimmer profit margin. And one of those appears to be Japan anyway. So why do you think that is? If you're MoneyGram and you know the new corridors that are going to be turned up, would you focus your efforts there and make those cheaper to bring your volumes up so that then you can eventually make those insanely profitable once you switch over to RippleNet? Methinks so.
Build gradually. I think in the fourth quarter, we'll start to see some impact. I think due to the kind of confidentiality and the unique nature of what we're doing, I don't think.
Confidentiality with Ripple and the unique nature of what we're doing. Folks, this is not a standard XRapid, XRP, RippleNet customer. Again, they're building this global on-demand liquidity, retail liquidity provisioning system, and it is going to shake the core of the global financial system when it's announced, but we're not going to see it in Q3. He's talking about the financial impact. That was the question. He's saying Q4 is when you'll see this. Okay, so it's coming, but it's still months away.
I think we can really describe at this point what the P&L impact is, but I would just say that we're expecting it to influence Q4.
Boom. There you go. Okay, one more section here along those same lines. If I can, there we go. 40. There we go. Close as I can get.
This was asked by a previous caller.
This guy's very quiet. Sorry.
It effectively, sold 10% of the company.
Talking about the shares Ripple got in exchange for the $30 million or 50.
Holders and, very often sizable transactions like that are based on maybe some really impactful revenue synergies. Here it was kind of unique because it sounds like it's more on a cost synergy. But given just the magnitude of that dilution, is there any kind of quantification on how we should think about the potential cost savings in the model? Just not sure.
Cost savings.
The real time.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little restricted in terms of where that's guiding you in terms of where that's going to show up.
The guy asked the wrong question. The Ripple partnership, sure, it's going to save them money, but the real meat on the bone is not in cost savings. It's the new revenue. What new revenue? From their global liquidity, on-demand liquidity, one-off provisioning service. Folks, it's going to be so huge.
I would just tell you that on an EBITDA basis, the way the potential for this is that it would offset the dilution for the entire 50.
Okay. What he's talking about, EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, and amortization, is a measure of company profitability used by investors. It can also provide a more accurate view of the company's real performance over time. This is their 10Q filing. This is what this call is based on, that all the people on the phone read through. And he's talking about adjusted EBITDA right here. And for 2018, the first half, that's 126 million. Let's call it 250 annual. So what he's saying there is that 10% dilution in the share price, the Ripple partnership is going to at least bring them $25 million to their bottom line. It doesn't say when, but probably, 2019, if things are going to ramp up in Q4 of this year. Okay, let's keep going.
Through a combination of
yeah, and I don't want you to divulge anything you're not permitted to, but maybe a different way of asking it that you could help us with is to understand what existing settlement costs are.
No, it really isn't that straightforward, and we really just are not in a position to go there. I think that over time, as this.
Sorry, we can't tell you about our new global liquidity provisioning service yet. You'll just have to wait for the news.
I think there might be a little more clarity around it, but right now, all we can say is that on an EBITDA basis, we think we have the potential to offset the entire 50 if we elect to draw down the entire 50.
All right, there you go. There you have it. That is, exactly what I've been talking about. What MoneyGram is doing, what Ripple, the reason they partnered with Ripple, the reason Ripple partnered with MoneyGram, it is a win-win for both companies. Ripple gets to develop RippleNet. They get to flush out the network and its reach. MoneyGram gets this new business that's going to generate at least $25 million for them in new revenue and in cost savings. So, man, I bet the people at Ripple and MoneyGram probably hate me for spilling all their secrets. I live in Dallas, MoneyGram. I can do consulting, $250K a year. You never hear MoneyGram on my channel ever again. I'm Sam I Am. If you like my work, you want to support it, you can join one of the over 100 patrons who do exactly that by going to patreon.com/tothelifeboats. We'll catch you next video.